In this video, I would like to show you how to create table in Microsoft Access 2013. We use tables to collect data for specific categories. First, we need to click in create. After that, we go to the table design, and that what will appear in the screen. Now we will fill the blanks. The first one, we will write company name without space. And the type will be short text. The second thing, we will write company contact. And the same thing, short text. The third thing will be address. And the address will be also short text. And the fourth, company ID, and that will be auto number. We will choose it from here, auto number. 5 will be notes. Notes will be long text. And we will write in the 6 blank, is it inactive? And here we will put yes or no. And now we will drag the company. We want to put it key in the primary key. We will drag it to the first row. Now it's that is the table, and thank you for listening. Yeah, here we will write supplier, for example, supplier T. That means supplier table. Now we finish the table, and that's what we have done. And thank you very much for listening.
Hi, I am Khalid. I will show you how to create query in Microsoft Access. Let's see this table. Career T. We will jump to run a query. We will use query when we ask a question about database and get us some answer. Let's see, for example, the record for only Abu Dhabi City. It will be, the query will provide us with the answers. We'll go to create, query design, then we'll choose Career T table, add and close it. For the first one, I will choose contact name, double click. For the second one, I'll choose contact phone, then third one address, with the fourth one city, and some notes. For city we'll write the criteria Abu Dhabi. And I want the contact name from A to Z. And I will run the query. See, this is the record all for only Abu Dhabi and the contact name from A to Z. That's what we do with the query.
Hello everyone, this is Mazen, I'm here in this section of Access today to show you how to actually create a form. But first of all, I just want to apologize for this video because the quality seems to be a bit lacking, since we're actually a bit restricted on resources. So before I begin and show you how to create a form, I would already assume that you know how to create a table and that you already have a table to do so. And when it comes to forms also, you need to know why and in what situations we would be using a form. Now actually traditionally and conventionally, forms are actually used as a way of gathering data. And the reason is the reason why it's so popular is actually it minimizes the possibility of errors to a certain extent. And this is also why it's so popular as a feature in Microsoft Access. So just like with the table, you start by going to the Create ribbon, and here you'll be faced with many different options. Now also one thing that you need to know is there are actually many ways in which you can create a form. The most basic being this option, which is simply titled form. You could also go to form design, which I'll be talking a little bit about later, and blank form if you're willing to start a form from scratch, which would have no relation to your table. And if you want Microsoft Access's presets, then you should probably choose Form Wizard. But for the sake of this demonstration, I'll be using the form option. So just click on that. And here you'll be presented with many different forms, each one corresponding to records that were present in the table itself. Now, just as any other MS Access feature, they're completely customizable. So I can resize, I can also type in new information, and this is done by going to Home and choosing Form View. And so you can type in anything you want that without actually affecting what's present in the table itself. And also you can also actually edit, or if you want to customize specific forms, you can easily also go back to Home and click on Design View. And here now, while it might look different than the view that I just showed you, it's essentially the same thing. Except the only difference is here that you can actually completely customize the title. So for example, instead of carrier, I could say a courier. So there's that, and I will go back to form view, and as you can see, I have courier instead of carrier right now. And this is actually pretty much what you could do with forms, and it doesn't actually have to follow what was in the table, because if you go to the bottom left, you'll be presented with a small arrow, and from that arrow itself, as you can see here, just give me a moment, you should actually go back to layout view. This arrow is what you would use to create a new record. So if I could just click on that, you'll see I have a new form in which I can input new information. And the best thing about this is actually it's not really related to the table, so you're actually free to do whatever you want with this. And this is pretty much forms in a nutshell, and thanks for listening.
Good morning, my name is Asil Al-Muhammadi. Today I'm going to describe to you how to do reports and labels. Starting with reports, I'm going to use this table, which is employee, starting with employee. First, we are going to go to create, then report wizard. We go to employee, which I have chosen before. Then we start with choosing our field. The first field I'm choosing is employee ID, then first name, then last name, then phone number, as well as city. First, then next, if you this page is in order, if you need any order or you need to group them together into different levels. Starting with the sorting, I'm going to sort first name as ascending and last name as ascending as well, and employee ID as descending in order to try different features in this report. Starting, then next, then you can choose your layouts. There is columnar, tabular, and justified, whichever you feel easier. This I feel that the default one, which is Templar, is easier for me to in order to recognize the information. Now next, then we name our table. I will go with employee report, and then preview the report, then finish. Okay, sometimes you have an information that is not visible, so it is very hard for your manager to display it when you give him the report. So we need to edit this one. We close this and we go to the employee R. Then we go to layout view. We can adjust the columns, we can adjust them. So for employee ID, I want to make it very visible. Okay, this is sufficient for me. Okay, now that we have finished the report, so now we need to start with the label. So starting with the label, so now we need to save this one and close it. Starting with the label, now we need a label, which is we are going with default, which is 51160. Then we choose English, then sheet feed. The label type is for different printers, so we go with sheet feed. Now next, you can choose the font that you need, which is Time New Roman in my opinion, and then bold. The font size I will go with 10. Then let's go with a normal one. The color we go with black. Okay, next, then we can choose the fields. If I want to have a label, I will have employee ID in this section and first name, then last name. We use a space between each element, which is first name and last name. Then enter in order to go to the next row. And then I'm going to have phone number and a postal code. Okay, and last one I'm going with address and city. No address, just delete city. Just delete it. We go with address, we go with state, and finally with city. Now next, available feeds. Which one would you like to sort it for? I'm going with first name and last name. Next, we can name it employee L, which L stands for label. Then finish. Some data may not be displayed. Okay, this is beautiful. This is sufficient for me, and it does the job. Then if you are going to have a different, if you want to have a different if you want, for example, to have a different if you want to send a mail or something, you can easily just cut it and paste it on the mail, and it is gone. Okay, thank you for listening, and this is the end of our lesson today. See you in the future.